Hello and welcome. Now, some people will tell you that the most beautiful sound in the world is a babbling brook, or a choir of angels, or perhaps their firstborn child saying Dada. They are, of course, completely and utterly wrong. The most glorious sound, the one that stirs the soul and makes the hairs on your arms stand to attention, is the bellow of a finely tuned racing engine at full chat. And today we are celebrating the absolute pinnacle of that noise, that power, that engineering genius. We're counting down the 5 greatest Class A racing cars on the planet. These aren't just cars, they are weapons-grade, track-devouring monsters, built with one single solitary purpose: to be faster than everything else. I'll be your guide on this pilgrimage through automotive nirvana, and for each of these magnificent beasts, I'll tell you a bit about what makes them so special. We'll touch on when they were forged in the fires of motorsport, and for the morbidly curious, the sort of telephone number figures you'd have needed to acquire one. This isn't just a list, it's a celebration of speed, passion, and frankly, magnificent lunacy. So buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey from number 5 all the way to the undisputed king of the Class A jungle. Prepare for some controversial opinions, some gratuitous displays of horsepower, and a healthy dose of what I like to call power! This is going to be biblical. Let's get on with it, starting with a machine that is as American as apple pie and litigation, the Chevrolet Corvette C8. R. Right then, number 5. It's the Chevrolet Corvette C8. R. Now, for years, the Corvette was the automotive equivalent of a bodybuilder who only ever worked on his arms. All the power was up front, it had a massive chest, but the rest of it was a bit agricultural. It was a muscle car trying to hang out with surgeons at a dinner party. But this, the C8.R, which first burst onto the scene in 2020, is a different animal entirely. It's a revolution. They've finally done what Zora Arkus Duntov wanted to do decades ago. They've put the engine in the middle, the correct place. It's like discovering your simple-minded country cousin secretly has a PhD in astrophysics. Putting the engine behind the driver has transformed it. Suddenly, it's not a blunt instrument anymore. It's a scalpel. The balance is sublime. The turn-in is sharper than a Savile Row suit. It can now dance through corners with a poise that would make a ballet dancer weep with envy. Under that rear clamshell sits a 5.5-liter flat-plane crank V8. And yes, that means it doesn't sound like the traditional lumpy muscle car burble. It shrieks. It howls like a banshee with its hair on fire, a proper, bona fide European supercar scream. And that, coming from something with a Chevy badge, is deeply, deeply impressive. Of course, being a race car, you couldn't just pop down to your local dealer and buy one for the school run. These were homologation specials, built for the track, with a price tag estimated to be well north of $1 million. For that money, you got a car that wasn't just fast in a straight line, it was a Le Mans class winner. It's a Corvette that has been to finishing school in Switzerland, learned impeccable manners, and is now ready to punch a Porsche squarely in the face. It's a magnificent, star-spangled piece of engineering. Coming in at number 4 is a car that proves size really does matter. It's the BMW M8 GTE. When this car first appeared in 2018, the internet nicknamed it the M8 Great. Because, and let's be honest here, it is enormous. It looks less like it was designed in a wind tunnel, and more like it was carved from a single, gigantic block of pure, unadulterated aggression. It's the automotive equivalent of a nightclub bouncer who doesn't need to say anything. A brute, a thug, a magnificent, imposing beast of a machine. And you'd think, being so substantial, it would be a bit of a lorry. You'd think it would lumber around corners with all the grace of a startled hippo. But you would be wrong. This is a BMW, and they know a thing or two about making big cars handle. Underneath that vast carbon fiber body is a masterpiece of chassis engineering. Surprisingly nimble, shockingly agile, utterly planted. The engineers at BMW M Motorsport somehow managed to teach an elephant to do gymnastics. It's a technological marvel, wrapped in a shell of pure intimidation. Powering this land yacht is a 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8, a work of art. It produces a noise that's less of a scream and more of a deep, menacing growl, like a lion clearing its throat before a hunt. With a development cost that would make a small country's finance minister faint, the price for a customer team to run one of these was astronomical, easily 7 figures. It was a statement of intent from BMW, a car designed to barge its way to the front of the grid through sheer force of will and engineering brilliance. and for that it earns its place on our list. At number 3, we have a car that is quintessentially British. It's the Aston Martin Vantage GTE. Now, an Aston Martin should be beautiful, elegant, sophisticated. It should be the sort of car James Bond drives to a casino in Monaco. This, however, is the version of James Bond who has just been in a bar fight, won, and is now gargling whiskey and nails. It's still recognizably a Vantage, but one that's been on a course of steroids and sent to a military training camp. Brutish, purposeful, absolutely stunning. In a very functional, I will end you sort of way. First unleashed in late 2017, this Vantage was a complete departure from its predecessor. It's lower, wider, and features the most ludicrous rear diffuser you have ever seen. It looks like it's actively trying to inhale the tarmac beneath it. This isn't just for show. The aerodynamic grip on this car is simply staggering. You could probably drive it upside down in a tunnel if you could find a tunnel long enough and a driver brave, or stupid, enough to try it. It's a testament to the dark arts of aerodynamic witchcraft. And the heart of this beast? It's not an Aston V12, but a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 sourced from their friends at Mercedes-AMG. But don't think for a second it sounds German. Aston's engineers have feddled with it, given it a proper British upbringing, and it now has a thunderous, guttural roar that is pure, unadulterated motorsport. The price for this piece of British beef? Again, you're looking at a figure deep into the millions for a race-ready car. It's beautiful, it's brutally fast, and it has won Le Mans. It is, in short, everything a racing Aston Martin should be. Our runner-up at number 2 is a car that is as predictable on a list like this as rain at a British barbecue. It's the Porsche 911 RSR. For decades, the 911 has been the benchmark, the car that everyone else has to beat. And the reason for that is simple. Relentless, obsessive, borderline psychotic German engineering. Other manufacturers build a racing car. Porsche evolves one. This particular generation, the 991.2 RSR introduced in 2017, was perhaps the most radical evolution of them all. Because, like the Corvette, they finally moved the engine. Well, sort of. It's not quite a mid-engine car. The engine, a glorious 4-liter naturally aspirated flat-six, was moved from being behind the rear axle to being in front of it. This might sound like a small change, like moving a sofa from one side of the room to the other, but in a racing car, it's a seismic shift. It completely changed the car's center of gravity, and crucially, it made space for a rear diffuser the size of a small aircraft carrier. The result was a car with phenomenal balance and downforce, a 911 that handled with a neutrality that was previously unthinkable. The sound it makes is pure motorsport ecstasy. A naturally aspirated flat-six screaming its lungs out at 9,000 RPM is one of the all-time great automotive symphonies. And so we arrive at the summit, the peak of Olympus, the number 1 spot. What could possibly beat the relentless perfection of the Porsche? It had to be something with passion, with fire, with soul. It had to be Italian. It is, of course, the Ferrari 488 GTE. This car, which first graced the world circuits in 2016, is not just a machine, it's a moving sculpture, a work of art forged in carbon fiber and desire. Look at it. It is impossibly low, impossibly wide, impossibly beautiful. It's a car that makes you weak at the knees before it's even turned a wheel. But don't let those gorgeous lines fool you. Beneath that stunning red skin is a stone-cold killer. The 488 GTE was designed with a level of aerodynamic sophistication that is simply breathtaking. Every single curve vent winglet is there for a reason, to slice through the air and pin the car to the road with ferocious force. Driving this thing on the limit is an exercise in trusting physics. Your brain tells you it's impossible to take a corner that fast, but the car just grips and goes, daring you to push even harder. It's an intoxicating, addictive experience. At its heart is a 3.9-liter twin-turbo V8. Now, I know what you're thinking. A turbo Ferrari? Sacrilege! But you'd be wrong. This engine is a masterpiece. The engineers at Maranello worked black magic to eliminate turbo lag, creating an engine that feels as responsive as a naturally aspirated unit, but with a monstrous wave of turbocharged torque. And the noise? Oh, the noise is pure opera. So there you have it, 5 of the most spectacular, awe-inspiring, frankly terrifying racing cars ever created. Each one is a testament to what happens when engineers are let off the leash and told to simply win. They are the reason we fall in love with motorsport. The physical embodiment of speed and passion. They are more than just cars. Legends, gladiators of the tarmac. That will be talked about for decades to come. And what a magnificent collection of gladiators they are. I have my opinion, and I'm sure it's the correct one. But I am, on rare occasions, known to be wrong. So I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 titans of the track is your favorite? Did I get the order completely backwards? Perhaps there's a car I missed that you think deserved a place on this holy list. Get down into the comments section and let me know. Start an argument, have a debate, tell me I'm a blithering idiot. That's what it's there for. Let the chaos commence. And while you're down there, exercising your democratic right to be wrong, do be a good chap and press the like button. It costs you nothing, and it makes us feel terribly important. If you want to see more of this sort of thing, more power, more speed, and more shouting about magnificent machinery, then make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring that little bell so you don't miss a thing. Thank you for watching. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to find something fast to drive.